Welcome to My Mixtape. We have got the adventurous motor-loving couple, Doug and Mandy Phillips, here with us, and they're going to regale us with some great stories.
Now I've come back again.
So, as I said, we've got the adventurous motor-loving couple, Doug and Mandy Phillips, with us. They've been travelling around in their motorhome, sharing the journey, the laughs and the unexpected detours along the way. We're going to chat about their background, their travels, their motoring adventures, some funny stories, and I can tell you that Mandy has two massive books full of all the planning and all the crazy stuff that happened on their adventure, particularly their adventure to Scotland, which I can tell you, if you do check it out on social media, we'll make sure you get the link to get there. It is funny. It is really, really funny. So let's hit the road. Welcome, guys.
Evening.
Evening, Andy.
How are you?
Surviving.
as always. So let's go back to the beginning, because I know you guys, but no one else has the origin story of Doug and Mandy. So how did you two meet?
Well, I'll take that one because Doug can never remember. So we met through friends. I was working at Whirlpool at the time, before they started setting fire to washing machines. Doug was working in a computer shop in Wallington. His TDK rep was going out with somebody I worked with. We all went bowling, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And that was in 1994, was it?
No, 1992.
Close. Now, so you obviously worked at Whirlpool, but you went on to do something else, didn't you?
I moved from Whirlpool to Ryder, which lasted 6 months, which was a disaster. And then I moved to a charity called United Response, where I sort of retired a year and a half ago, but I'm still there. And I've been there 27 years.
And it's a kind of care sector.
It's the biggest learning disability charity in the UK nobody's ever heard of. That should be our strapline.
That should be nobody's ever heard of. And Doug, of course, you were IT.
Yeah, I've been IT. I went straight from Caterham High School for Boys as a trainee computer operator, never having used a computer or touched one in my life. I just got a calculator. And been in IT ever since, and ended up working for the same charity as Mandy does, running their help desk.
So, yeah, pretty good career on it. Now, you've got a big love of motoring, you two, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've seen it. You've got a Caterham 7 in your garage that you built. You built it from scratch yourself, didn't you?
No, I didn't actually.
Did
I wasn't allowed to.
I wouldn't let him.
Oh, what? I thought you built it.
No, it was.
He's Mr. Manana. It would have still been in parts 10 years later. So there was no way he was going to build one. So I let him buy one. But
it was actually our one is an oddball one because it was Caterham's demo car, and it was a special limited edition. They only made, I think, about 16. So our one is actually the one that appeared in all the magazines at the time.
Wow! Now there's a video of you on the internet spinning that car around somewhere. Where was that?
That was filmed at Dunsfold, where they used to film Top Gear. We used to run originally 2 days over the year, so twice a year.
charity.
For raising money for charity, but for Lotus Club 7 members to just have some fun and muck about and do stupid things that you can't do on the road.
Yeah, well, obviously. Do you get out much anymore?
haven't at the moment. It's unfortunately it's been sitting in the garage for 2 years. We've just been too busy, and it's been causing us a bit of a problem this last week because it developed a fuel leak, and our house has stunk of petrol.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Now the motorhome. Now, you got the motorhome how long ago now?
Well, we've had 2. This is our second one. We got the first one in 2019, before COVID. And we got rid of that one. There was an overlap, and this one we've had 3 years now.
Coming up for 3 years.
Coming up for 3 years.
Because you were retired first, weren't you, Doug? And you, I remember at the time while you were working all over the country, Mandy.
Yeah.
He essentially just followed you in a camper van, and you kind of do a bit of work, and then
Absolutely, he was a kept man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd see campsites in the dark. I'd go to the office from the campsite because it was cheaper to take the motor home than it was to pay for a hotel, working for a charity. I was head of finance, I had to think of the money. And he would have a luxurious holiday, him and the dog.
Me and the dog got a free holiday, but I was doing all the driving and she could work while we were driving, so...
But what we did learn is you can't sit in the back of a motorhome using a wireless mouse going round a roundabout because the mouse shoots off and then you're sitting there like a lemon trying to get it with your feet.
yeah, that's not the wisest idea.
No.
So obviously after retirement, you've started going off on adventures. Whose idea was that?
Well, I think that the whole point of retiring, or for me retiring, because as you say, he's been retired for flipping years. He's older than me, so that explains it.
Lazier than you mean?
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure that was the marriage vows, but never mind. So when I decided to retire, it was a case of we wanted to see the UK. I mean, the reason we bought the first motorhome was because we'd been on a driving holiday in Scotland, seeing all these motorhomes parked up in beautiful places that we had to drive through to get to the next B&B. So we wanted to see the UK, and we wanted to see it in a bit more comfort than the one we had. So they always say they reckon that the third motorhome you get is the one that's perfect. The one we've got now, I think, is very close to being perfect. And the big difference between the two for me was the fact that I passed my driving test at 17 on a manual car and hadn't driven a manual car since that day. And the first motorhome was manual. So it's not the size of the vehicle that bothered me, it was the changing gears. And you can't just rely on one of you, because if he fell down a rabbit hole or something, I'd have to drive. So the next one we got was not only bigger, but it is automatic. And I'm like queen of the road. It's like, get out of my way, I feel like I'm driving.
There's that kind of secret code between motorhome drivers, isn't there? As you drive along, you kind of...
You wave at one another. It's sad, it really is. You don't wave at camper vans, you wave at motorhomes.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, your first song, Madness, Driving in My Car, quite apt.
Yep, well, we decided a bit of a motoring theme to most of the songs, and also there's songs we like listen to when we're driving about.
Maswell Hill. I've even been to Selseyville. I drove along the A45. I had her up to 58. This copper stopped me the other day. Your mistake, what could I say? The tyres were a little worn, they were okay, I could have stalled. I like driving in my car. I'm satisfied I've got this far. Look much, but I've been far. I like driving in my car, even with a flat tyre. I like driving in my car. It's not quite a Jaguar. I like driving in my car. I'm satisfied I've got this far.
You, it's like, I like driving in my truck, right?
Yeah. Well, no, the bigger the better. Is that what women say?
Apparently so. Apparently so. I won't elaborate on that. Now, life on the road can be magical and unpredictable. What's your daily routine like in the motorhome?
Do we have a daily routine?
Yeah, I suppose we're pretty early risers, so we're normally up by about 6 o'clock in the morning, which means it's pretty unusual, judging from the lack of activity at that time.
For anybody else.
From anybody else. But we're like most people, wake up, have a cup of tea, get washed. Our motorhome doesn't have a fixed bed. It's got 2 3-seater settees either side, which converts into beds. So it only takes a couple of minutes, so it's put those back to settees.
Walk the dog. Make breakfast.
Make breakfast.
Well, I suppose it's quite easy to walk. The dog's Emma.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy to walk the dog, because you literally just open the door and you're technically already walking.
Unfortunately now she's getting older, because she's 11 now. She struggles getting down the steps, so you have to lift her down the step.
I have that problem too.
Yeah. Aren't we all? And so now what she loves doing is she loves going around and seeing people, which is no good first thing in the morning because there's nobody up and she doesn't get that. So what we tend to do is we attach her to a spike outside, and she loves sitting there and just watching if there's rabbits or any animals or just people walking past.
Well, she's just
happy.
But you do have things to do that you don't have in a normal home, for example. So you have things like, how much water have you got on board? Is the toilet full? Do you need to empty the toilet? Now that comes in it looks almost like a normal toilet, but most people seeing people camping, it's actually a big cassette that you pull out. Obviously, I get that job.
It's a blue job. There's blue and pink jobs, and they're definitely... Not that I can't do it. As having spent years at Scout Camp, I don't want to. That's his job.
And, things like that you look at. I suppose the worst thing is you've run out of water.
Yeah, but it all depends where you are.
Yeah.
So you have pitches that have got everything. You can just hook up to water, electricity, everything.
And they've got their own drain as well.
And then you've got, the other extreme is you're camping, wild camping, or you're in a pub car park that's got nothing. So it does tend to depend where you are as to what.
Although to be fair, there are good parts to being at a pub car park.
Oh, exactly.
Some of the best times we've had is, my favourite place to be is a pub called the Arkwright Arms up in Derbyshire. It was the first place we ever went to for work, that we just camped in their car park. We arrived at the end of a biker meet. Real ale, great cider, amazing food, and they charged you £5 to hook up, and if you didn't want electricity, you didn't pay anything.
That's fantastic.
And it was brilliant. And the building itself.
Yeah, it's lots of old buildings, they start to bow out and they have like metal rods put through them. This one, I don't know what the difference was, but this had the same thing, but it was all on the outside of the building.
Wow.
Never seen.
Wrapped
it was
in
like
metal.
like an exoskeleton, just to keep it all together.
That's fantastic, though.
Yeah.
Love things like that. Now, you talked about your morning ritual and your sort of set-up routines. What are your favourite comforts that you've got in the motorhome that you couldn't be without?
Gosh, that's a good one. I suppose, so for me, And it's not going to be anything that you would think of. For me, it's a pillow, a decent pillow. Because if I can't sleep, and I'm an insomniac anyway, so I wake up at 3 in the morning. So if I could have two things, it would be my e-reader and my pillow. Those are my two luxuries.
What about you, Doug? What's yours?
Now it's okay. I think I work in fridge and freezer, actually.
So because it stopped working in the middle of a hottest year.
Yeah. You've then got all your food. By-product, you have cold beer as well. But, that's not a set up. We don't have a TV in our motorhome.
No.
To be fair, the view's pretty good.
Yeah. We find things to do. You talk. Okay, like other people, we use the internet.
We read. You meet other people when you're out and about. That's the big thing. You get chatting to people that you'll never see again. You would never have met before. And you can have a laugh with them. You find out things about people. We went to there's a campsite we go to down in the southwest called Tucker's Graves Inn, and it was an original 17th century, I think it was, cider pub, and they've just developed their campsite. And we've met some amazing people down there. We went down there one December for work on the way back, and there's these 4 girls sitting in their car, freezing. We said, "What's up?" And they went, "Well, we forgot our tent." So it was like, "Well, would you like to come and get a cup of coffee? Because in a motorhome, you've got heat, you've got water." And they were like, they turned up and they were like, "Yeah, wonderful." And they'd been sitting there the whole night in their car, not wanting to admit. And they'd all fallen out with one another because it was somebody's responsibility to bring the tent, and they'd forgotten it.
That's insane. So, obviously, you talked about that pub in Derbyshire. Is that the best place you've ever parked?
No. To me, I think it depends what you want. To me, the best place I've ever parked has to be on the Isle of Skye, the campsite on the Isle of Skye, because we were right on a loch, beautiful scenery, very few other people around, amazing sunsets. For me, anywhere away from it all. When we first got together, Doug wanted to live in New York and I wanted to live in the north of Scotland. We were so compatible, it was ridiculous.
But then you are Scottish, aren't you?
Well, my father was born in Scotland, and half of me is Scottish. And if I could ever have played football, I would have played football or rugby for Scotland. So, that's where my roots lie. That's where my heart is.
What about you, Doug? Same favourite, or have you got another secret?
No, Scotland was stunning. Wales, Cornwall, fantastic. But Scotland just has that something. I think my favourite place was there again in Scotland. A place called Findhorn.
Yeah.
Tiny little, I presume it wasn't a fishing village, but tiny little village. And they chucked their council out, and the village runs everything.
Wow.
And
are you listening, Sutton? We can do it.
They converted one of their car parks to what's called an air. Now, that's a European term, and it's basically a car park for motorhomes. You pay a nominal fee, and they supply you with either just secure parking or basics like water and waste disposal for your chemical toilet. I think it's called an air. And it was lovely and clean. Behind us were some sand dunes, and they'd built wooden walkways to take you over the sand dunes so people in wheelchairs could get up there. And the beach was stunning. It's just as good as the beaches we've seen in Barbados. 3 miles long, beautiful place, friendly. Really, the locals were friendly. Just amazing, and I'd recommend looking at.
Because actually, you're quite different. So most people sort of throughout their life when they're working do the kind of motorhome holidays and the caravan holidays, and then in their twilight years do the Barbados and the Antigua and that kind of thing. You guys did it the other way around, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason, I used to work 60, 70 hours a week plus for 35 hours a week pay, which was fine. It was for a charity. But I needed 2 weeks where I could I'd say shut off, but I took the phone with me, so that didn't really count. But 2 weeks...
I love the way that Doug just looked up to the ceiling then.
I even had to set up a laptop for it wasn't Zoom in those days, but for Skype meetings.
Yeah. But I wanted 2 weeks of lying in the sun in a hotel where I didn't have to do anything. And, and I did a week away with my scouts, because I ran a scout group for adults with learning difficulties in Banstead. And that was a real work week away because, I used to cook for 26 people and I wasn't the only leader, but Doug would occasionally come down. But I needed my 2 weeks of the sun doing nothing. So that's why we used to go. I mean, we would occasionally go. We were lucky we could afford to go for 2 weeks, sometimes in February as well. We would always choose the cheapest place because, as I say, I'm half Scottish and I can't bear to waste money. But yeah, we did all those trips away. And then we went to Scotland on this car trip and just went, do you know what? Both came back and went, we need to get a motorhome. And it was like, never thought of it before.
Never dreamt I'd ever own a motorhome. Never.
And the first motorhome we called Dennis after my father because my dad's idea of roughing it was a 4-star hotel instead of a 5-star one. He couldn't understand why I wanted to go in a tent. But I wanted something that had a toilet. I was done with running across the field at 2 a.m. to go to the loo.
I'm with you on that one. I'm not a big fan of camping. Funny enough, my partner and a couple of my kids just got back from camping and they had to come back a day early. Someone broke the tent. Not them, not from their party, from another party of people just running around in between the tents stupidly. Now, we talked about best places you parked, campgrounds and stuff. Now, do you prefer those kind of wild spots where you just kind of rock up and park up? Or do you kind of like... Because you're quite big on planning, Mandy, aren't you?
Yeah. So
I'd just like to say at this point, I get fed up with all the planning.
So I'm a spreadsheet person. So I will have a spreadsheet or a notebook and I have lists upon lists upon lists. So what I like to do is know sort of 2 or 3 places. When we went to Scotland, we started off with sort of 2 or 3 places that we were going to go to. And we had a route that we wanted to take. And then
the route you wanted to take, Doug would have just got in and driven.
We both drove. And we both could...
Obviously, I had 50% of the say in it.
Yeah, okay. 25% maybe. And so we booked a few places, but a lot of places we just found by Google mapping it. Campsites, places to camp. There are so many apps nowadays, search for sites, park for night. So I like having a combination, because we went away for 3 weeks. You have to do some washing at some point. You have to have we've got a shower in our motorhome, we've never used it. It's used for storage. A bit like the garage at home. So you had to have somewhere every so often, every sort of 3 or 4 days, where you could do some washing and you could have a shower.
Fill up with water.
Empty,
because you can't empty a chemical toilet just anywhere. It has to be a proper
It's funny,
place.
Thames Water don't seem to have a problem with it.
Well, yeah, unless you're at your water company, obviously.
Yeah.
But we can last about 3 or 4 days without having to go to a campsite.
But they're fabulous, though, having that freedom.
Yeah, but there again, there are some campsites we love going to, like the one in the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
Because the main town is like a 5-minute walk away. And you've got all the shops, restaurants, pubs and everything. So a lot of it depends on what you want to do for that break. Whether you want a relaxing break for a few days, where you just want to go, wander around, nice places to eat, or...
But also, you've got to remember nowadays, especially up in Scotland, there's less places that welcome motorhomes because people have abused it. So there's no right to wild camp in anything but a tent in Scotland. So if you've got a motorhome or a camper van, you cannot wild camp anywhere. The Forestry Commission's got lots of places you can go to, but our motorhome is about 21 foot by about 7.5 foot, so it's a bigger motorhome, so you can't just park that anywhere, so you do have to plan a bit. But yeah, I mean, the plan is to do more wild stuff. Now we've done the 3 weeks in Scotland, I'd love to go back and do some more wild camping.
Now we're going to talk about Scotland because it was a bit of a carry-on film, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to play this, which is the thing you like looking at, Mr. Blue Sky. Why did you pick this song?
Doug?
I've always liked ELO, and I think it's a happy summer song to me.
It's a beautiful new day. Hey, sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky. Mr. Blue, you did it right, but soon comes Mr. Night, creeping over. Now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I remember you this way. Mr. Blue Skies, tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue Sky, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
We were talking about the false ending there, and we knew it was coming, and we all looked at the screen when it came, like we didn't know it was coming. Now, I've been following your travels, and I knew I had to get you on when I saw the calamity that was the trip to Scotland. Who's ringing me? Now, we'll get that phone. You have to speak on the answer phone, whoever you are. You've had some incredibly brilliant adventures, and Scotland does stand out for the anecdotes as much as the scenery. Can you share the mishaps, quirky encounters, and unforgettable roadside moments for us? Because you broke down a lot.
We technically broke down 3 times. We actually called out green flag twice.
But we broke down before we even left. We had to get the van seen by the garage before we
I'd forgotten
left.
about that. So technically, you could. Okay, so
it was the same problem each time.
So I could waffle on, but We can't keep our motorhome at home because of our London Mayor, because he wants to charge me £100 to take it off the drive because it weighs over 3.5 tonnes. So,
and that's after I helped modify your driveway to get
so
it
we
on
could
there.
get it on.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So, the closest we can keep it in proper secure storage is way past Gatwick. So, to save the environment, we always have a 45-minute drive just to get to the motorhome. So we get into the motorhome, load it all up. I reversed it out where it's parked to a tap to fill up with some water, switched it back on, and I had an engine warning light. But it wasn't on solid, it was just flashing. So the road we get onto the M23, there is a commercial Mercedes dealership, or motorhomes based on Mercedes. And they just replaced the airbags under warranty for me. So we called in there and grovelled and said, look, we're just on the start of the holiday. Yeah, don't worry. They hooked it up to their diagnostics machine and the guy said, sticky relay. He said, you haven't used it for some time. I said, no. He said, be fine. He said, he could have driven it because it was flashing. He said, he could have driven it. But anyway, so off we go. And you were driving at the time.
Don't blame me.
No,
so we went from home or from Sussex via Suffolk, via South Shields, via Edinburgh to start our Scotland trips, stopping off at friends on the way. Stayed in Edinburgh with my cousin because it was her husband's 60th birthday for the weekend. Then we took the East Coast up and we'd done probably over a week. We'd come down to Loch Ness and we were staying on the shores of Loch Ness and we were checking the van out before we left Loch Ness and the light came back on.
Yeah.
So, being the devoted wife I am, I started Googling local garages, and there was one down the road this was on a Saturday, who very politely said that he would be there on Sunday and he'd have a look at it for us.
He'd open up his garage for us because he didn't have anyone that could get to us.
Checked it.
So we did that. He hooked up his computer system to it, and it was a sticky exhaust valve. And by the time we got there, it was running fine, but we still had this ignition light on. So he cleared it. He said it's just the exhaust valve. He said that just gets sooted up. So, and didn't really say anything else. And I didn't really, though I'm a car person, I just thought, it's just sticky. So we were then a couple of days later.
We went from there to Oban.
Yep.
Oban over to Mull. Mull for a few days were fine. Coming back, and we're then going up to Skye, and we were stopping just before the Skye Bridge. And I was driving and just pulled onto the A84, flipping A84.
Yep.
Do you know what? I hated that road. Just pulled onto it and the engine warning light came on and it went into limp home mode, basically. So 11 miles an hour on a main road.
Imagine if you actually had to limp home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I managed to pull it round the corner into a decent size lay-by and stop there. Phoned green flag, because we made sure we were covered, who said they would be out with us in an hour and a half. They were sending somebody from the garage that we just left a few days earlier that was down the road. So we had an hour and a half to spare, so we did the British thing and we made a ham sandwich and had a cup of tea. Because in a motorhome you've got a toilet, you can do what you like, you're not worried like you are in a car, despite the fact that there were lorries thundering past. And also we managed to see our only bit of wildlife, which was an eagle, while sitting in this and we'd just gone past Loch Garry, and I can't believe there is actually a Loch Garry
past
in
a place
Scotland.
called Invergarry, which made me giggle slightly.
Then we had to follow him down the road, and he said there was a pub we could stop at for the night. The pub wouldn't let us stop. I drove into the pub and said to Doug, you can do the rest of the drive into the next to our campsite that we've got booked. At which point he walked round the side of the van, didn't look where he was going and fell in a bog. So
I had about an hour's drive with my right leg all halfway up to my knee covered in
and it was my
sludge.
fault. Of course it was my fault, not that he wasn't looking. We got to the campsite with 5 minutes to spare and there was a food van that did the most amazing food. And of course, me being me, you got £2, I'd already checked, you got £2 off if you took your own plate. So we went legging it across the campsite, still him and his soggy foot, with our plates to buy food. But we did get to Skye. Then on the way back from Skye, I was driving through Glencoe.
Now, it had always happened when we'd been driving up and down through little twisty roads. All the miles we've done on it, we never had problems on motorways or anything.
It wasn't my driving.
And we got stuck behind a cyclist.
Yes.
There's a whole queue, about quarter of a mile queue of cars behind this cyclist going through Glencoe. So we just got past him. Same thing happened.
So I've pulled into this very small indent in the side of the road.
Wasn't even a lay-by.
Wasn't even a lay-by. Phone green flag. They then phoned us back and said, look, the guy said, I know where you are, but I can't get a truck into there. Can you limp up to this viewpoint, which has got a big car parky bit? So I then went, I'm not bloody driving this again, excuse the French. So I gave the keys to Doug and went, you can drive.
So I eventually pulled out, because we'd pulled on the wrong side of the road. Eventually managed to pull out. And as I say, I can only do 11 miles an hour. I've got the hazard warning lights on.
Through Glencoe, which is it's a two-way road, but it's not dual carriageway anywhere.
And now, of course, everyone's hoping the cyclist comes back because he was faster.
He'd been long gone by then, actually.
This is why I didn't want to drive, because I thought they're going to go female driver driving at 11 miles an hour. At least they can't say that about him.
So, and because it's so wide, because it goes from the cab, which is like the Mercedes part, then the rest of it's purpose-built, it's wide. Even if you stick your arm out to wave people past, they won't see you. So, eventually pull it, and it seemed like ages, with a massive queue of traffic. There was nowhere I could even pull in to let the traffic go past. They just had to sit behind. Got into this car park. I've pulled up. It's full of people, full of tourists, all looking at the view.
The green flag guy phoned you.
And just as he's phoned me, I've got the window open. You'd never believe it. To the right of me, right by my window, a guy starts playing the bagpipes. And I've got this guy going, are you there? I'm going, yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah. So I've got someone playing the bagpipes right next to me.
And there's all these tourists taking photos of this guy in the full regalia with the bagpipes. And there's us sort of going, no, we can't make him any quieter. We haven't got the radio on. We can't turn it down. It's a person. So
anyway, it turned out this guy was brilliant. Green flag,
not
brilliant.
Not the bagpipe.
Not the bagpipe.
He was okay.
No. Of course, by the time we'd moved the motorhome, the warning light had gone out and it was running normally. And he turned around and he said, "You're driving this thing like Miss Daisy." I said, "Well, drive it sympathetically."
That's him, not me.
And he said, "No, what you've got to do," he said, "your exhaust valve gets blocked with soot." He said, "You've got to give it loads of revs." He said, "You'll be fine on the motorway, but that..." So what we now know, if you're in tiny little roads where you're crawling along, not going... Just though it's an automatic gearbox, you can use it manually and knock it down and rev the engine for about 10-15 minutes.
So we went from the car park with the bagpiper to following this guy to a place called the Green Welly Shop. You couldn't write this if you tried. And then we swapped over. We then went from there all the way down to Glasgow. No problems. Stayed overnight at Glasgow and decided to treat ourselves to the Toby Carvery next to the campsite that we were on. We turn up, and despite having been related to somebody with loads of Scottish relatives for years, my husband's hearing when it comes to accents is abysmal.
I could not understand what the waitress was saying at all.
And I'm sitting there having to translate. There's a couple on the table behind us that actually, after she'd gone to ask them what they wanted, turned around and said, I couldn't understand her. And the waitress had only moved 2 foot and she went, I'm still here. So it was one of those trips. But we came back and luckily we missed, it was the weekend of the big accident on the M6 where it was closed southbound for about 8 hours. And luckily we pulled off to fill up with fuel. And the sat-nav told us to take a different route, which we did, and we managed to avoid it. But we left there at 7:30, left Glasgow 7:30 in the morning, and got home at about 6:30 at night, having to already drop the motorhome off and drive another 45 minutes back again.
So quite a calamitous trip to
It
Scotland.
was, but you know,
it added to it.
It added to it. We weren't worried because, you know, as we said, because you're in your motorhome, you know, if you break down by the side of the road, well, at least you've got a bed, you can sleep. It's not like you're panicking if you break down in a car. Completely I wasn't worried at all. It sounds really strange.
It was quite weird because obviously I was following your exploits because you and anyone can look at it. It's Mandy and Doug's travels on Facebook. And it was brilliant because you'd have almost both sides of the story because you were both posting.
Yeah.
So you'd have the kind of Doug side of, we've broken down again and you'd be like, well, look at this view.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's pictures of me not looking particularly happy, but that was because I was getting rained on. But we were really lucky. We had the most amazing weather for all bar one day. We got hailed on when we went to Tobermory and ended up having to dive into the same soap shop that William and Kate went to about 3 weeks later. So we did the Royal Recce. But yeah, I mean...
They went there because you went there, that's what it was.
Yep.
Well, actually, yeah, we did tell them it was a place to go, we're really in there. But we were so lucky with the weather. But, yeah. I mean, we did stand that day where it was raining in the only cafe we could find that had no seating, outside, eating ice cream, being looked at by people going past us like...
You should work for the Scottish Tourism Board.
If you've never been to Scotland, it is, there's some amazing places to visit, but as people always say, the views, the scenery is just amazing.
Right, I spent all my childhood going up there to visit relatives, not realising that this beach in Findhorn was 10 minutes up the road. I spent my whole life in people's front rooms and gardens. So, it's...
I suppose it's like us, though, we live in London, and the thought of going to see the sights in London just fills us with dread, but I suppose...
We did that last weekend. We went on a treasure hunt around London. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But, no, we need to see more of this country, not just because of COVID and everything else, but, we have some amazing scenery and amazing places.
And you've just got that from Cornwall as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we went to Cornwall.
It's my favourite part of the country. I love Cornwall.
Yeah, I mean... I spent a lot of time in Devon when I was a kid because my grandparents lived in Devon, so I've got affinity down there. But Cornwall, the beaches are stunning. The only trouble in Cornwall and in Scotland is tourists, and we're them.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I've got
a cousin
that lives down there. Hello, Sharon, if you're listening. So we try to get down there at least once a year to see them.
Yeah, I haven't been actually since my mum passed because she lived in Cornwall. So I do miss going down there, but it's on the cards. But we can't talk about Scotland without playing this.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
Yeah, no.
When I go out,
well,
I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. When I get drunk,
well,
I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. Yes.
Yeah.
And when I haver,
what's having me?
well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. Now,
and I would roll 500 miles, and I would roll 500 miles just to be the man who rolls 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you.
Shaka Khan.
And when the money comes in for the work I do, I pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's coming home to you. And when I grow, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing over you. And I would roll 500 miles, and I would roll 500 miles just to be the man who rolls 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you.
was the roadside, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, it was
Well,
right,
no,
it was the road to some of the most beautiful scenery we've ever seen.
No, well, it does sound like do check out the Facebook page because it is hilarious. It really is very funny. Are you going to write a book about it? Because I think you should.
No, I hate writing. That's why I was in finance. I don't do words. That was my idea of hell, actually having to write that every night.
Numbers, do it in numbers. Do it in maths problems.
Oh, God, no.
You get all the geeks involved. Guys, fantastic. I mean, you've had some great motoring adventures. You've been all over the country. Where's next?
Southern Ireland.
Southern Ireland.
When's that planned for?
About the same time next
Yeah,
year,
in
April, May.
April. We haven't even started looking at where we're going to go exactly. I think once the bad weather starts coming in here, and we're not doing things in the garden or whatever, we've got lots of people on YouTube that have done Southern Ireland, and we'll catch up with some of their videos to get ideas of places to go.
Because your garden's pretty amazing, because you've got that hobbit hut in your garden, haven't you?
Yeah.
We have.
It's essentially, the only way to describe it is essentially, if you think about a barbecue that's got its own building, that's essentially what it is. It's a barbecue with a building.
Yeah. And we bought it having gone to shows in the motorhome and seen it for 3 years and went, we need that in our garden.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually, you said I need that.
okay, I said I need that.
And then Doug paid for it.
No, I paid for it. I was the one still working.
No, but it is amazing. It kind of keeps that outdoor living thing going, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't used it much this summer because it literally,
Been
to
too
cook
hot.
in it, it's just too hot. But now it's starting to get cold. There's nothing better than we normally like
Poking a fire.
Friday evenings, fire up the fire, do a couple of steaks on it or something. It's just nice.
Yeah.
Is your office still in there?
No, I've moved my office back inside because I don't work very much in there now. So because I'm only doing ad hoc work.
Imagine barbecue in an office in the same building.
We did actually once have a barbecue while I was working.
That's brilliant. Have you got any big bucket list places you want to go?
We've been really lucky. We've done bits of Canada. We've been to the Maldives. We've done the Caribbean. We've been to India and Thailand. There aren't many places that we can go to because of wars, etc., that we would want to go to. I suppose, really, I'd love to go to Australia. I've got relatives in Australia. You've got friends in Australia. So Australia would be the big one. Maybe hire a motorhome and go around Australia.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Friends have done it, so...
And we are thinking of, though, as we said earlier on, we bought the motorhome to tour the UK. We do fancy, not next year, but perhaps the year after, catching some winter sun and doing things like Portugal and Turkey.
That'd be fabulous. Yeah. So don't stop you, basically.
Yes.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive, and the world I'm turning inside out. Yeah. I'm floating around in ecstasy. So don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing supersonic woman of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like don't stop it. Me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Oh! Supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me yes, now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
So, trips after trips after trips. Thank you guys for coming in. I've been wanting to get you in for ages, and your adventures do keep me laughing. But I mean, brutally honest, I mean, you are a great couple, and you know, I've known you for a few years now, and I think anyone that follows your thing, I know you say you're different, but you kind of bounce off each other, and I think it's brilliant. The open road, the motorsport thrills. I can't wait to hear about what's next. But your last song comes with a story, doesn't it?
It does. So I have to admit here that I didn't realise anybody else did this song until I heard the ABBA version, and I will put my hands up now and say I'm not an ABBA fan. So when I sent the info to Andy, I said, please, not the ABBA version. My father was born not far from Inverness in Scotland, and we used to go up regularly, and this was the song that he always played. But we also played it at his funeral. So it always reminds me of Scotland. It's a bit of a corny one, but I think it's got great words to it.
You and I can share the silence, finding comfort together the way old friends do. And after fights and wars of violence, we make up with each other the way old friends do. Times of joy and times of sorrow, we will always see it through. I don't care what comes tomorrow, we can face it together the way old friends do. Silence, finding comfort together the way old friends do. And after fights and words of violence, we make up with each other the way old friends do.